Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have a Twiss Volcano. We have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero, and this is in the Hawaii. We have an Atelier Lusso Andromeda Vulcans Forge. We have a Black Robin Pens Iago. We have a London pen company, the Christopher, in Erinoid Caramel. We have a London pen company, the Christopher 15, in the Jonathan Brooks Primary Manipulation 1. We have an Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Dragon. We have a Visconti Ducale Palazzo di Sassuolo. We have a Visconti Fiorenza Lava, and we have an Edison Collier in the Antique Marble. So let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So this is the Twiss or Twiss Pens Volcano. So this pen is made out of alumilite, and John, if you're not aware of, he is a custom pen maker in the UK, and I purchased this from him at the Northern Pen Show at least a couple of years ago. And I really do like this pen. I only have two pens actually made out of alumilite, and this is one of them. Another one is an Atelier Lusso, which isn't in the lineup this week. But this is a beautiful material, and you can just see here how stunning this material is. It really is a fiery volcano with the grey ash. It's a beautiful, beautiful material. So I knew when I saw this pen at the Northern Pen Show, I saw it and I said to a friend, David, that I said that if this pen is still available when the show is over, then I will make John an offer. And it was still available, much to my surprise. And I made him an offer and he accepted. So I'm glad that I was able to add this to my collection. It does have a Twiss nib on there. You got the T for Twiss, and this is a broad. It's a Yovo steel nib with an ABS plastic feed. It's a cartridge converter pen, but I like it. It's a little bit on the shorter side to maybe a little bit what I'm used to, but it's a pen that I do like, and I have it in my collection. Likewise, another sort of slightly shorter one is this one, but again, I love this material. This is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero, and this is the Hawaii, and it's a striated, sort of layered resin that is then cut at this angle to give you this kind of effect. And it's named Hawaii after the luscious beaches and the blue seas, and honestly, I think this was the perfect name for this pen. This has a number 6 size, and it's a Yovo steel broad nib. That is quite nice. Actually, it's a Bock, actually, not a Yovo, because they have more recently switched to Yovo nibs. This was a Bock nib. It's a cartridge converter, and honestly, I love this pen. I picked it up at the London Pen Show from Stefano at Stilograph Corsani when he, I want to say it was his first time at the London Pen Show. But this was a beautiful pen, and I just knew he had a number of these on his table. And strange enough, the story is that I was looking at about 4 or 5 Hawaiis and in a pen tray at his table, and I said to him, the Hawaii, and I went to grab one, and he said, no, I've got a special one for you, Dave. And he pulled one up from behind the table, and it was this one, and I have to say it was really nice. So I'm so glad that I was able to pick that one up as well and add that to my collection. The next pen is a pen I had made for me by Eric at Atelier Lusso. This is inked up as well this week. You've got the L for Lusso there. So this is a custom pen made, and I handpicked this resin I had, I think it was 6 pens being commissioned, and it was only until like the 11th hour of the 11th day that I kind of realized I didn't have an orange pen, and I had started liking orange inks more. So I quickly changed one of the materials out and said, "Can you make this?" And I'm glad he did, because this is a really, really beautiful pen. And you'll see here it comes with a Yovo steel nib. It's a broad nib. It's a cartridge converter, but this is a really, really beautiful pen. So I'm glad that I have that one inked up with me this week as well. The next pen I have inked up is this one, and this is the Black Robin pens. It's the Iago. And when I saw this on Meg's Instagram feed, and I saw this pen, I just had to message her and ask her if it was still available, because I do like a little bit of glitter in pens sometimes, and this really spoke to me. And this one was sold, but I think it was about a month later, maybe a month and a half, that she made another one and said, "Before I offer this one up, would you be interested in it?" And I said, "Yes, please." And I bought this one for Meg. So I do try to support local and international pen turners, pen makers. So not just large manufacturers. So obviously this one was John Twiss. This one was Atelier Lusso. This one is Black Robin Pens in the UK. So I think Meg does do some pretty good work. And this is, if I just wipe that nib off a bit there, it's a lovely Yovo nib, and I'm just looking on this one. It's a medium nib. I wasn't sure if it was a broad nib or a medium nib, because sometimes I do swap nibs around. It did come with a medium nib. I remember asking Meg if she could provide me with a medium nib, so that still is the original medium nib on that pen. The next pen is the London Pen Company, and this is the Christopher in Caramel Erinoid. And I have to say, this is the first pen that I have had in Erinoid, and I am liking it. It has a huge amount of chatoyance. It polishes extremely well, and I think this also goes to show some of the quality of work that Sean is doing out of London Pen Company in Ontario in Canada. This is a beautiful pen. It's a long pen. It has an ebonite section, and it has a Yovo broad nib there. So still, but it's gold plated. And as you can see, it's actually quite a long pen, and you could post the caps, but this model isn't really designed to do so, I think. But this it's another cartridge converter, like actually all four of these actually. So it holds around about 0.7 milliliters of ink, and I do like it. I think an ebonite section is kind of different, but I kind of like the idea. I know sometimes Sean does this when he has a material that will just keep cracking and shattering when he's sort of milling it, and sometimes he will put some ebonite sections on there. Sometimes I think he may mix a few other materials as well for different coloured sections. The next pen here is again another London Pen Company pen, and this is again from Sean in Ontario, Canada, and this is the Christopher 15 model. So this is a 15mm diameter, and this really is a much thicker pen. If you compare this to the original Christopher, hopefully you will see a difference there. Slightly shorter by about, I'd say, almost a centimetre, maybe half a centimetre perhaps, but it's a lot more girthier. So this pen is beautiful. It comes in the Jonathan Brooks Primary Manipulation 1 material, and if I unscrew the cap, you'll see this one, instead of a Yovo nib, it has a Bock nib, number 6 size nib, and that I believe is a broad nib. Bock do not actually label their steel nibs. It's a cartridge converter. It is a very hefty pen. I think it would look great with a number 8 size nib, but I know Bock do not do number 8 size steel nibs, so it's kind of limiting. The only option would be a number 8 size titanium nib, and maybe that would be an option there perhaps. So that's certainly maybe an option for future models if Sean wants to go bigger than 15mm. I'm not sure. Actually, I have pens that are bigger than 15mm, but I know a lot more people are starting to like larger pens. So larger pens used to be the minority of people, and now it's starting to swing sort of more to an average. So maybe there will be a 16 or 17mm pen coming in the future. Who knows? The next pen I have inked up this week is the Atelier Lusso Andromeda, and this is in the dragon, and you can see this lovely wyvern, serpent or dragon there. This is a beautiful color pen. Again, this was another sort of pen that I had commissioned. I was just trying to think of the word there. I had commissioned from Eric at Atelier Lusso, and this is a really nice pen. It comes with a number 6 size Yovo steel board nib. It's a cartridge converter. These caps are not meant to be posted. There's no way of posting it, but I find that this is a good size of my hand, and I do like the material on this pen. Like, this material is really, really nice. So I decided to ink that one up this week as well. Another pen is this lovely Visconti, and this is inked up. You can see the ink sloshing away in that barrel there. This is the Visconti Ducale Palazzo di Sassuolo, and this is a really beautiful pen. It has this yellow dawn material here, on the cap and the filling knob, and then you have this transparent demonstrator, but you also actually have the palace inscribed onto that, and it's very hard to see it, but you'll see the palace there. So this is a really beautiful pen. It comes with the older, I'm just looking, 18 karat gold nibs, and this is a medium nib, and I love how this writes. The pen I find is a little bit more on the thinner side to what I'm normally used to, but I love writing with it, and I guess my only wish would be that this was a slightly wider pen, but I love the pen. I love the colour. I love the palace engraved onto it. I love everything about the pen, honestly. The next pen I have inked up this week is this one, and this is the Visconti, and it's the Fiorenza Lava, and you can just see this was the first pen that Visconti made with lava, and this is lava with resin, and this really is a beautiful pen. And if I uncap the pen, you'll see there comes with an older 23 cap palladium medium nib. It is actually an older style vac, so you have to remove that to get at the vac here, but I like the pen a lot, and so I've not written with this pen for a long time. Actually, a few of these pens I've not written with for a long time, so I decided I would ink those pens up this week. So that one is also inked up. And then one I haven't inked up for a very long time is this one, and I don't know why. I've got 3 Edison Colliers. I was going to sell them at one point, and then I decided to not sell them. This is the Edison Pen Company Collier in antique marble, and I love the look of this. And it's almost like a tiger, but I don't know why I don't write with it. The only thing I could think of is that I had a medium nib on it, and my other Colliers I had a 1.5mm stub nib, and typically I don't really like either of those. So I swapped it out for a broad nib, and a broad nib now is in here. So if I unscrew the cap, you'll see it is a Number 6 size. It's a Yovo with an Edison laser etched nib, and it's a broad steel nib, two-tone cartridge converter. So I have this one inked up with me this week as well. So I think with that, let's go and do a writing sample. So the first pen is the Twiss pen's Volcano. So we'll do an ink swatch. And I have to say, I am really liking this ink in this nib. This is a really, really good pairing of this nib. So this is the Twiss pens, and it's the Volcano. And it is a broad, and it's a steel nib. And then the ink in here is KWZ, and it's Thief's Red. And I'm just going to have a look. It's with an F. That's what I'm trying to look at. So it's Thief's Red. But this is a really beautiful red ink. The next pen is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in the Hawaii. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you'll see here that this is a lovely blue. And, you know, I was actually thinking, I don't think there is an ink that is called Hawaii, is there? If you've seen one, then do let me know in the comments below. So this is a Leonardo, and it's a Momento Zero, and it's the Hawaii. And it's a broad, and it's a steel nib. And then the ink in here is, I'll get this right, it's Robert Oster, and it's Blue Water Ice. So I do have a number of these blue inks from Robert Oster now. The next pen is the Atelier Lusso Andromeda, and this is in the Vulcans Forge. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a really lovely orange ink. So this is an Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Vulcans Forge, and it is a broad steel nib, and then the ink in here is Pilot Aroshizuku, and it's Fuyu Gaki, which is a really lovely orange ink. The next pen is the Black Robin Pen's Iago. So let's do an ink swatch. And this is a medium nib. And I typically don't go for Yovo medium nibs. But, so this is the Black Robin pens, and it's the Iago, and it is a medium steel nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine, and it's Earl Grey. But that is a really lovely pen and ink combination. The next pen is the London Pen Company Christopher in Erinoid Caramel. So let's do an ink swatch. And this is a beautiful brown colour ink. It's a very wet ink and a wet nib as well. So this is the London Pen Company, and it's the Christopher in Erinoid Caramel. And it's a broad steel nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Chocolate, which is a dark sort of chocolatey ink. The next pen is the London Pen Company, and this is a Christopher 15 in the Jonathan Brooks primary manipulation. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is, I think, a lovely colour ink to go with this pen. I may change it out for a brown or something else in the near future. Well, I guess we'll wait and see on that one. So this is a London Pen Company, and it's the Christopher 15, and it's in the primary manipulation 1. It's a medium, it's a broad, not a medium. It's a broad steel nib. And then the ink in here is, and the steel nib actually is a Bock nib, not a Yovo nib. So the ink in here is Diamine Meadow. The next pen is an Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Dragon. So let's do an ink swatch. And you can see here, this is quite a nice pale ink. And it's more of a pastel colour as well. So this is the Atelier Lusso Andromeda. And it's the Dragon. And it's a broad steel nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Peach Haze, which is a colour that I like a lot. This is a really lovely pastely peachy colour. The next pen is the Visconti, and this is the Ducale Palazzo di Sassuolo. So we'll do an ink swatch. And again, for a nice summer, hopefully summer week, summer month, we're going to go for another brighter colour here. So this is the Visconti, and we're going to fit all of this on. Yeah, I probably can, I think, just about. Let me give it a try. So this is the Ducale, and it's the Palazzo, and it's the D, and it's Sassuolo. And it is a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Sailor Gentle, and it's Kin Makusai, which is another favourite orange ink of mine. It's a really lovely bright orange ink. The next pen is the Visconti Fiorenza Lava. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a lovely blue ink. And we'll just colour that in a little bit more there. Quite a wet ink as well. And I'm just going to check. Yeah, it's a medium nib. Just want to double check that. So this is the Visconti. And it's the Fiorenza Lava. And because I haven't written with this pen for a long time, so I want to double check the nib size. So it's a medium, and it's a 23 cat palladium nib. And then the ink in here is Pilot, Awashizuku, and it's Konpeki, which is a beautiful blue ink. And then the last pen is the Edison Pen Company Collier in antique marble. So let's do an ink swatch. Now this is a broad nib, and I find that this ink is a little bit more on the drier side. So this is the Edison pen company, and it's the Collier in antique marble, and it's a broad steel nib. And then the ink in here is Robert Oster, and it is gold Antiqua, which is a lovely gold coloured ink, sort of, I guess maybe a golden brown, I would say more. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. So we have a Twiss Pens Volcano in a broad steel nib, inked up with KWZ Thief's Red. We have a Leonardo Momento Zero Hawaii in a broad steel nib, inked up with Robert Oster Blue Water Ice. We have an Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Vulcans Forge in a broad steel nib, inked up with Pilot Roshizuku Fuyugaki. We have a Black Robin Pens Iago in a medium steel nib, inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a London Pen Company, the Christopher in Erinoid Caramel in a broad steel nib, inked up with Diamine Chocolate. We have a London Pen Company, the Christopher 15 in Primary Manipulation 1 in a broad steel nib, inked up with Diamine Meadow. We have an Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Dragon in a broad steel nib, inked up with Diamine Peach Haze. We have a Visconti Ducale Palazzo di Sassuolo in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Sailor Gentle Kinmokusai. We have a Visconti Fiorenza Lava in a medium 23 karat palladium nib, inked up with Pilot Roshizuku Konpeki. And we have an Edison Pen Company Collier in an antique marble in a broad steel nib, inked up with Robert Oster Gold Antiqua. So there you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.